And our late night for November 23rd, Thanksgiving Eve, is in session. So we're going to talk about the quadruple homicide out of Idaho. That's what we're going to be talking about. If you are on TikTok, I highly recommend that you go to the Sojo Files YouTube, because that way I'll be able to see all your comments and pin them to the screen and answer them easier. So if you would like to join us for this live and the live discussion, head over to the Sojo Files YouTube channel where we will get into it. So let's start this discussion, shall we? One thing that I want to really make sure that we discuss for this, and let's see here. Let's get situated, shall we? Let's get situated. So, pull up my screens. Hello. Glad you could join us. It is a very late night. I was out longer than I intended, but we're here. Let's get it. So, I'm gonna head over to right here. Again, if you're on TikTok, we would love to have you join us on YouTube, because I cannot see the comments on TikTok. But you head over to YouTube, we will be able to do that. So put this up. All right. So let's get into it. I'm going to stop share this screen so that I can show y'all this one. So one thing I want to talk about is the location of this house, because I think that it is obviously highly relevant. And let's view it like this. So let me drop a pin here. So this is the house. Ooh, I know y'all hear that storm. That the homicide occurred at. The quadruple homicide occurred at this house right here. And the thing to keep in mind is, throughout this investigation, something that I thought was pivotal and really important to keep in mind was that the killer or killers would have, to be frank, been covered in blood. This is a messy, to knife someone, a stabbing, homicide. It's messy. So the reason why that is relevant is not to be gruesome or disrespectful, but it's a key element here, because you have to think about how that person was able to leave the home, leave the residence without being noticed. And I do mean that literally, in the sense that they left the home without being noticed by neighbors or other roommates, and also because they got back to their residence. And maybe they live alone, but maybe they don't. But either way, they got from point A to point B without being noticed, looking like they just did something that they really shouldn't have done. And that was something that has stuck out with me from the beginning. And it's something that I've been keeping in mind while I'm thinking about this type of situation that we're dealing with. So that being said, we have the house, which is right here. I hope y'all can see my mouse moving on the screen. Yeah, you can. So the house is right here. And you have this wooded area, but really this is just a tree line. They continue to use the word wooded area, but in all actuality, that's just a tree line that segregates the house from this apartment complex. And this is the parking lot, and it is obviously a very secluded parking lot from the private residence right here as well. So again, the residence of the house, this is an apartment complex, this is a private parking lot. And this is of high interest to me because someone could easily have been right here. If they left on foot, they had to have gone somewhere within close proximity given the condition that they would have been in. So if they were on foot, they wouldn't have been able to get far. And if they were in a car, they would have to worry about someone hearing the car, seeing the car, headlights on a car. And those are things you have to keep in mind. So this whole parking deck is conveniently, I said parking deck, sorry, this whole secluded parking lot is only segregated from the house by a tree line. Now, to amplify this up, let's do this. Right here. This image right here, if we can zoom in. Oh, shit. There's a clip. This, if you are standing, let's pretend like these are your eyes and you're standing here. Directly behind you would be the sliding glass door that you're seeing featured in all of the images. So all of these pictures that you're seeing of the sliding glass door, it's on the second floor in the back. If this picture was your eyes, the sliding glass door would be directly behind you. You can see a clear walking path right here. And if you zoom in, you can see a car, just clear as day right there. So if someone were to have been parked in this secluded parking lot, like literally this car that we can see on the maps right here, if someone were to be parked in this area, and look, you can see how close this house is. It's literally right there. If someone were to park right here, from this picture, you can tell that they are hidden, but have a direct line of sight to the back of this house and can see right into it. TikTok, I'm so sorry that y'all are getting the shit into the stick view here, but if you head on over to the Sojo Files YouTube, you'll have a way better view of what's going on. So I'm sorry that you guys are getting the shit view, but if you want the better view, head on over to the YouTube channel. So you can see this clear path and this car. And so that's something that I think is relevant in this case. This parking lot, I think, is relevant because it is a great option for a place to park and not be seen. It's also clear that you could sit in the parking lot and see this house and still not look like a total creep. Just being honest. So let's come over here and see the comment section. Someone asked if there were any updates today. So on the conference today, they did the live conference today. There were no real updates. So it's basically as I predicted last night on the live. but I appreciate them doing the live press conferences, whether they have additional information that's new or not, because it lets the community know that they care, that they're taking the time out of their day, time that they could be using to investigate, to address the community to the best of their ability during an ongoing investigation. And I think that's crucial. And I think it's very much appreciated. So I do respect that they are taking the time to do those press conferences, whether or not they have the information and the answers that you're wanting them to give you or not. But basically, they stated that they had 103 pieces of evidence collected from the crime scene and over 4,000 photos of the crime scene. They also stated that they are aware of the alleged stalker and that there are no, they basically said that that claim's not substantiated. They don't have anything to substantiate or verify the stalker claim. Now, this is rumor fuckery that I just saw online, but clearly they felt the need to address it, so here we are. There was this rumor online about a stalker and how this police report had been filed about a stalker. Well, the police are saying that there's nothing to substantiate that. And clearly the police department knows whether or not they have a report on someone stalking or harassing someone. So I think that's a pretty good indicator of that. And they just flat out said that they can't substantiate that claim. And that's basically that for the update. The statement about having 103 pieces of evidence that they made, I think, was for the public to know that they do have evidence in this case. It's just evidence that they can't share currently because it's an ongoing investigation. So I think that's why they threw that piece of information in there. And then as far as the 4,000 images, the crime scene photos taken, I think that that is really important as well, because investigators, they are the historians of crime. I said this earlier, but I'll say it again in case you weren't on the earlier live. Investigators are the historians of crime. And so they are responsible for documenting the crime scene, because you only get one real chance to document that crime scene, because you only ever get the true crime scene one time. And so taking all those pictures and documenting it, it's a way for them to reference the crime scene later on, to look for things that maybe they missed, to reevaluate the crime scene again. And it's evidence that can be used throughout court proceedings. And so I really do appreciate that they took over 4,000 images. That's just my opinion on that. Let's see, some more comments. Can we talk about the profile? Well, we can, but there really isn't one. They've not given a profile, and anything that we can infer from the information that they've given is not going to be great as well, because there isn't a profile. But there are lots of options. And I think that those options are what people should be thinking about. Now, if you're new here, you know how I roll. If you're not new here, I like to look at, of course there's going to be the standards, but I like to look at the deviations and all of the possibilities that could be, and work out all of those different options and what doesn't work and what's not possible, and then go backwards. A lot of people just stick with the basics, like, oh, well, this, so it must be this. I don't think that's a great way to look at it. Though the most obvious answer is usually the right one, I like to look at all possible options and then narrow it down that way, because it's not always the obvious answer. Yeah, I understand people's frustration. Okay, there's a quadruple homicide. People are extremely upset, and that's understandable. And I know that they want answers and they want an arrest, but you have to do things the proper way. And you have to do things the proper way to ensure that you get the right person and that you can secure a conviction. And I know that's frustrating, but that's just how it works. And that's the best way and the most appropriate way to go about it. But it does cause anxiety and fear and frustration, and rightfully so. But yeah, you don't get DNA results in a snap, and things take time. They take weeks to get results back. You can only do so much, and there's only so many hours in a day, and so many options and things like that. So let's see. I do make y'all do critical thinking, but it's so that we can all get our brains working. Okay. If you're new here, just a reminder that it's free to be a decent human being, and everyone is interested in, if you're in the true crime community, if you're watching true crime, you're interested in these cases, right? So, but it's free to be a decent human being. And so I want to make sure that in this space, we are discussing cases ethically and responsibly. So if you heard something or you saw something, make sure that you put rumor or allegedly in front of it so that we aren't contributing to misinformation. Also, I think that the roommates and the boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, they are secondary victims. So make sure that you don't say anything about them not be victims. On that note, just want to get that out of the way before we continue further. This comment says, my question is the other two roommates, why were they spared? Also, why did the roommates say the friend was passed out when it was such a gruesome crime scene? Great question. Let's talk about this. Why were the roommates spared? We can't definitively answer that question because we don't know. But if we want to use critical thinking to think about this, there are a few options. The perpetrator or perpetrators may have not known that the two roommates were there. They may not have known that there were 6 people in the home. They may not have known that the house was 3 stories. That's a possibility. It is a complete and total possibility that the perpetrator or perpetrators might not have had any idea that there were 2 other people in the home. Another possibility is that, and this is something that people should know from a criminology and just from a crime facts standpoint, in a knife attack, in a stabbing, the perpetrator, more likely than not, is extremely common that they accidentally hurt themselves in the commission of the crime. They accidentally hurt themselves. That is extremely common. So it's possible, like I said, that maybe the perpetrator or perpetrators just didn't know that there were 2 other people in the house. Or perhaps the perpetrator got injured and therefore left the residence. Maybe they got injured. More likely than not, they did. Or maybe they got interrupted or got worn out and left the residence. So from a criminology standpoint, from a victimology standpoint, from a common sense standpoint, there's options. And ask me my personal opinion, those are the 2 main ones that I would keep in mind. The perpetrator either was unaware that they were there or unaware that there were 6 people in the house, or they injured themselves or were interrupted and left. Also, I just realized ADHD got the best of me. Why did the roommates say that a friend was passed out? So I think people are thinking too hard into that, and this is my opinion on that. I've seen cases. I'm currently covering a case in season 2 of the Sojo Files, the Shreve case, where people say that it is a bloodbath and very gruesome crime scene. And that gets reported, and then you see the crime scene photos, and it really wasn't. Now, in this case, it was a stabbing death, so obviously it's different. Obviously, there's going to be biological fluid. It's a stabbing death. But they're not stupid, okay? If they had walked in and seen a bloodbath, they would have called 911. What they walked into and saw was something that they thought that they should call friends over to help them assist in assessing the situation, and then they called 911. We do not know what they saw. It's possible that the victim was stabbed and a blanket or something was put over them. We don't know. But also another way to think about this, and I don't know if any of y'all have ever had to call 911. I hope not. But sometimes your brain just breaks, because I've had to call 911. Half your brain processes what's going on and realizes what's going on, and the other half is like, this isn't happening. This isn't real. So unconscious might have been the only thing that they could say. That their brain just might have broke, and all that they could say was they're unconscious. We don't know, but I stand firm on the fact that the surviving roommates are victims. They had absolutely nothing to do with it. If you say something negative or rude about them in the comment section, you'll be blocked, because they are secondary victims and they should be treated as such. And I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, so depending on your viewpoint of the house. So let's see here. It's not going to show it. So I know what we can do. Duh. So it does depend on where you are from a perspective wise as to your vantage point of the house. So from the back side, it looks like it's 2 stories. From the side, it looks like 2.5. You can tell that there is a third. You can tell that there is a third floor. And from this perspective, you can tell that there is a third floor. But from the back side of the house, you enter on the second floor through those sliding glass doors. It is very hard to think during a 911 call. And I know that people are so frustrated that the 911 call has not been released, but I posted about this on the Instagram. Primary podcast is the Sojo Files. At the sister podcast is the Situation, which is where I'm covering this case. And there is at Sojo Files and at the Situation podcast. And I posted on at the Situation podcast Instagram, because that's where I'm talking about this case, about reasons why they wouldn't release the 911 call. And there are a few. One is that the caller had a very traumatic experience. And releasing that phone call is going to add and amplify to that level of stress. On top of that, the caller may have given crucial information during the call that they do not want released at the current time. And also, they may not want to drag someone, and I wouldn't, into it publicly. So, unfortunately, assholes online have said the survivors' names and pictures because, sometimes you can know something and just have enough respect not to just like blatantly point it out, and everything you think doesn't have to be said. But, some people haven't learned that. So they may just not want the call out because another innocent, traumatized person is going to become a focal point in a media circus, and quite frankly, some shit online that is ridiculous. The layout of the house is very confusing. It's very segmented. We can go through the pictures here in a little bit. Again, if you are watching from TikTok, I highly recommend that you head on over to the Sojo Files YouTube so that you can join in on the comment section and the conversation, because the way this is set up, I literally cannot see any of the comments on TikTok. But would love to have you join us on YouTube. It's possible that the perpetrator was familiar with the area. More likely than not, yeah, most crimes the perpetrator commits within a radius of their home. So more likely than not, statistically speaking, yeah, the killer is very familiar with the area. Ooh, our girl Peyton is working on a floor plan for us. I see. This is the shit I love to see. Go off, sis. Get it, girl. Cannot wait to see it, Peyton. Cannot wait to see it. Yeah, I do respect that they're being careful about releasing information. I know firsthand how hard it is. I'm struggling with it right now with the Shreve case, because you want to release the information, but you know that once you do, the internet bears a life of its own, and it can really jeopardize a case in some aspects. And so it sucks. And it sucks for them too, because they don't want to leave the community that they serve and protect in the dark, but they also have the huge burden and responsibility of getting justice for these victims. And so they're walking on eggshells, and I get that. And they don't want to jeopardize the integrity of their investigation. And as frustrating as it is, the fact that they're holding press conferences just to address rumors and just to let the public know that they're there, they're fighting for justice, they're working as many hours as they possibly can, they're doing everything they can, that shows you that they care, they're invested, they're doing everything they can. They just can't give you the answers that you want right now. And it's not because they can't. It's because they can't do that without jeopardizing the case. Thank you guys for being so respectful in the comments. I saw a bunch of y'all were putting the rumors and allegedly in front as to not further contribute to negative information, and I just love you guys for that. How contaminated do you think the crime scene is? Well, kind of just depends. It's been said that it's a party house. And so if you know anything about advances in DNA, you can touch something and leave epithelial cells on it. People touch a lot of things if you have a party at the house, and shit just happens. I don't think that the crime itself is going to be highly contaminated just from what they've released. So from what they released, they said that the 2 surviving roommates, they apparently found one of the victims, thought they were unconscious, believed them to be unconscious, called some friends to come over to help assess the situation, and then ended up calling cops. When officers arrived on the scene, they found the other 3 and realized that they had a quadruple homicide. And for those reasons, I don't believe the crime scene has been highly contaminated. And from the pictures of investigators going in and out, they appear to be doing everything appropriately. And so I don't think that it's going to be severely contaminated. And until we know more, I'll stand by that. Hey, we have a new true crime bestie who came over from TikTok. Thanks for joining us. Someone commented, also note that whenever anyone asks if the killer went downstairs, the police are quick to stop the questions and not answer it. That is important. I'm not sure that I've heard them decline to answer that. Not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying I'm admitting to you that I've not heard that. But, you know, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I think that the perpetrator either did not realize that there were 2 other people in the home or was unaware that 2 other people were in the home. Perhaps they went downstairs and tried to check the doors and the doors were locked. I don't know. It's a possibility that they were unaware that they were there. It's also a possibility that the perpetrator injured themselves because more likely than not in a knifing incident and a stabbing attack, the perpetrator accidentally hurts themselves, harms themselves, injures themselves. So more likely than not that happened because not only do we have 1 victim, but we have 4. So whether the perpetrator was unaware that there were 2 more people that lived in the house or 2 more people home, or if they went downstairs and the doors were locked, so they went back upstairs, if they didn't know the layout of the house, or if they injured themselves or got disrupted and left, I don't know. Those are possibilities and we don't know, but thank God that they are alive and you know, wish them the best in an extremely difficult time. And then, you know, assholes get online and make these ridiculous comments and allegations that are unfounded by all fucking standards online. And the secondary victims, the surviving roommates, they see that shit, or their friends and family see it. So, you know, my God, it's free to be a decent human people, or I got flustered and pissed, so I can't even speak. It is free to be a decent human being. And so that is just deplorable behavior when I see that shit online. Like, we live in America, so first and foremost, it is innocent until proven guilty. If you're going to accuse someone of some shit, you better back it the fuck up. And they just make these rumored, unsubstantiated, just bullshit statements online. It's crazy. Yeah, I have not heard that question. And I've watched all the press conferences. It's possible that I missed it. You know, I'm not perfect. But I've not heard that question be asked or avoided. But I'll go back and check. Listen, I think that the ex-boyfriend, the boyfriend, however you want to call him, he is also a victim. He has to live with survivor guilt, which I had a family member that was murdered. So I know, unfortunately, like, that's just part of it, even though it's irrational. It's just part of it. That poor kid, and I say kid because they are in college still, didn't answer the phone, is going to have survivor's guilt. He is a victim, and he did not do it, and people should not say that he did unless they can substantiate it, because he's a secondary victim, and there's no reason, for anyone to suggest that he had anything to do with it. And I think that the parents backing him up speaks volumes, because a parent wouldn't unless, they knew, or they felt strongly that they knew. Or could have pulled Lacey Peterson's family was respectful and they stood by Scott until they couldn't anymore. I don't think that's the situation here, but I'm just saying, no one should just jump to conclusions. Oh yeah, like like I can't imagine. That just tells you how strongly they believe that he had nothing to do with it. They know he had nothing to do with it, because yes, it would be so hard to do that. And I think about, Lace Peterson's mom all the time, standing by Scott, and then how that played out. So again, to be clear, I absolutely do not think that is the circumstance here, but it's just all around torturous for these parents and family members. It's horrible. Okay, this was a rumor. I'm only going to click on it just this one time so that we don't have to address it again. The whole rumored dog and cat thing online is not true. In the fact and fuckery game, that's on the fuckery side of things. That's not true. It's not substantiated. The police even addressed it and said that's not related, has nothing to do with this. Okay, so someone heard it in today's press conference. This might have been when I was distracted. There was a little incident that went on while the press conference was going on, so I got distracted at one point, and maybe that was said while I was distracted. But someone else heard it, so yeah, I missed that. I'll go back and listen to it, though. I mean, I think I just said how the Scott Peterson situation is comparable. Not to this case, it's comparable in the sense of family standing by people. But again, I don't think it's one and the same, because I obviously believe that the boyfriend is a secondary victim. And yes, it is innocent until proven guilty. But unfortunately, we live in a society where people jump to conclusions and just start hating on people and trolling on people completely unfounded. What evidence would suggest this was targeted? Great question. So they stated that it was a targeted and isolated attack. They said that on Monday. They doubled down on it on Tuesday. I think from a criminology standpoint, the math ain't mathin'. Okay, so then they said it was a targeted and isolated incident. From the outside looking in, meaning I do not know shit about fuck, because I do not have the paperwork for this case, all that stuff. But just from a criminology standpoint, a targeted attack is typically a specific place that's targeted, or a specific person. And the other victims that get drawn into a targeted attack on a specific person are unfortunately collateral damage. It's typically someone that was there when the perpetrator went to commit the crime, the attack, or someone that walked in while the crime was being perpetrated. and they end up being collateral damage. God, I need some coffee. Collateral damage in a targeted attack. Here you have 4 victims found on multiple levels of the home in different rooms, and that doesn't outright to me suggest targeted, because who's the target? All 4? That seems weird. And then some things that would suggest that it was targeted would be something like 1, and again, I am talking in standard form. I am not talking about this case specifically or at all, just in a standard form. A targeted attack, something that would suggest that something was targeted, would be a perpetrator sustained more injuries than another one. Maybe the perpetrator covered them with something that is suggestive of a sign of remorse or guilt. There's different things like that. Specific elements of the crime and how it was perpetrated that would suggest that it was a targeted attack. To me, it just seems odd to say it was a targeted attack on 4 out of 6 victims on 2 different levels in multiple rooms. That's just my personal opinion. But now come Wednesday, they backtracked on their targeted and isolated attack statement and said that they can't guarantee that the public is safe. So, and by the way, that's the same day that the feds get involved. So, you know. And another thing to keep in mind is this town, I said Moscow. I said it the other day, and a local said that it's pronounced different, but they've not had a homicide in 7 years. Like, this town has not had a homicide in 7 years, is what I saw for the crime stats. And if that's true, these people have obviously been living under a false sense of security. Because my God, if I lived in a town that hadn't had a homicide in 7 years, I would be too. Could have absolutely backtracked to cover their own ass. And honestly, y'all know if I see fuckery, I will call it out. I think they are doing a very good job with this case. I think that they have addressed what they can without jeopardizing the case. And I think that I very much appreciate them doing the press conferences, whether they have a lot to say or not, just because it shows that they care and they're taking the time to address the community that they serve and protect. And so that's very much appreciated and respectable, and I admire that. But they definitely backtracked on Wednesday, because you can't say, so listen, when I hear from a police department, it's targeted and isolated and the general public has nothing to worry about. That is highly suggestive and only a rational comment to make if you have a suspect or perpetrator in mind that you are watching and preparing to make an arrest on. When you say that and you don't have a suspect, that's a brazen comment to make. And it also just fails from a criminology standpoint. So I think that they might have had an idea initially, and then by Wednesday they were like, yep, nope, you're right. We can't say that the general public has nothing to worry about. Because listen, regardless, bottom line, take all of the criminal justice, criminology, victimology, sociology, take all the educational shit out. Just bottom, basic common sense. We have someone that killed 4 people by stabbing them to death. Until they're in custody, the general public absolutely has something to worry about. If there's a crime of passion, they're going to attack that one person, and then really other people aren't going to be in too much harm because they just wanted to take out that one person because they're angry and vengeful. And but when you have someone that kills 4 people, full stop, yeah, the public should be alarmed and worried because there's an individual that had the capacity to kill 4 people, and they're not in custody. I believe that they did say that they still believe that from their preliminary investigation that they believe that it was a targeted attack. But what they backtracked on, sorry, I should have specified this better. I'm sorry. What they backtracked on was them saying that the public had nothing to worry about. So Monday, Tuesday, they were saying that the public had nothing to worry about. By Wednesday, they backtracked and said, yeah, we can't say definitively that the general public has nothing to worry about. Make sure to stay vigilant. They are not going to be releasing a 911 transcript at this time. Why did the FBI get involved? Because they wanted to make sure it was done correctly? Okay, no. Well, yes and no, but that makes it seem like they were worried they were doing something wrong. So the FBI is obviously best known for investigating federal cases. So federal crimes that go across state lines, things like that. But local agencies, so state, county, local law enforcement, especially smaller ones, they simply do not have the resources, the same amount of resources and technology available as the FBI does. The FBI can have stuff tested quicker, and they have more technological advances at their fingertips. And so it is extremely common for local agencies, especially smaller ones, when they have a crime like this, to call the FBI and invite them and ask them to assist in a case. So since the FBI, so if it's a federal case, the FBI has jurisdiction. If it's not a federal case, they have to be invited in by the agency that has jurisdiction over that case to assist. And it is extremely common for local agencies, especially smaller ones, to reach out to the FBI when they have a crime like this that they know is bigger than them, or more than they need more assistance, more resources, more tools. They'll reach out to the FBI for assistance. That's just standard. Ooh, I got behind on the comments. I am so sorry, y'all. I'm trying to catch up. Time out. If you are on TikTok, I'm going to end the live stream. If you would like to continue doing late night discussion with us, you will need to head over to YouTube, go to the Sojo files, and you can join us there. And we hope to see you there. So I'm going to end this live stream on TikTok, and hopefully we will see you guys on the YouTube channel if you want to continue hanging out with us. All right. Listen, I've been pronouncing it like Moscow, Russia, too. Can't expect people to know everything. I definitely have been doing that. I admit it. Well, that's interesting. Let's see here. Let me get us. All right. I think that when people, I'm not going to pin this comment because I don't want to it to lead to false information. When people don't get the answers that they want, when people don't get the answers that they want fast enough, they try to rationalize that by saying maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. But there's nothing to substantiate that. So I like to stick with the facts that we know to be true based on what police and the coroner have released so far. Then everything else is a comparison from a criminology and sociology and victimology standpoint. But as far as it being connected to another case, I think that is a fucking stretch, to say the least. Like there's nothing to substantiate that. It's not been suggested by anyone. I don't know about all that. Mm, all right. Okay, we can definitely let's do this. Is there any truth to the rumors of blood seeping through the foundation of the house? I've seen photos and read reports that it is warming oil and other reports that's blood. Here is my 2 cents on this. I've studied crime for well over a decade. I went to school for this, and I have never, ever seen blood seep through the interior walls of a house and leak out of the exterior of the home. I have literally never seen that ever, and I've seen some crazy shit, and I've never seen that. Now that area of the house, let me show it to y'all. The picture is right next to the sliding glass door. So if you look at the picture online, there's like a 1 foot little thing, and then there's the wall, and then there's the seepage. So it's right here in this area, which is right behind the dishwasher and the sink, in this area right here on this wall. I don't believe that it's blood. Now, if someone comes out and says otherwise, then that's that. But I've not seen that be confirmed as blood. I've not seen it be reported as blood other than by one news network. By network, I mean one publication. I do not think that that is blood at all. And I say that because I just showed y'all the wall that that is pictured on, and it is behind the appliances in the kitchen. And I've just never seen it, because you have to think it would have to go through the baseboards sealed to the floor, drywall, insulation, and no, yeah, I don't think so. The police are literally going to look at every single tip that comes in. That's just part of it. Like any tip, literally any tip, even a tip that is dumb and they know is stupid and 95% false bullshit, they're still going to investigate it because that's their job and they should. So, yes, any tip that's called in, no matter how unlikely or what the probability of that actually is, they're going to investigate it because that's their job. And listen, it's free to be a decent human being. It's also not hard to be nice in the comment section. You're here voluntarily, which you don't have to be. And if you can't participate in a safe environment to ask questions and discuss this case, then just, it's not an airport, don't announce it, just see yourself out. Derek, I've missed you, friend. I have missed you. Yeah, if they say that it is and I'm proven wrong, by all means, I will admit that. I have no problem admitting that. But my personal opinion is, yeah, that is a lot to go through. I've never seen that in over a decade of looking at crime. I've not ever seen that. And given the location that it is on the back side of the kitchen. I'm going with no. I'm going to go with no. It could be. It could. Let's find the picture. Let's find it. Fox News. Well, okay. Oh, for the love of. Like, tell me you're a creepy person without telling me you're a creepy person. Like, dead ass, they're taking photos in the middle of the night of this house. Okay, that's not the picture I want. Let's backtrack. Okay, well, Lord have mercy. Okay, here we go. Do y'all see this sliding glass door right here? This is the patio. This is the sliding glass door. And then we have this 1 foot section and then this. So this 1 foot section oh, come on. You've got this 1 foot section right here, and then you have this wall and you have this wall. So oh shit. Okay. So sliding glass door, 1 foot, and you got this. Now, this could just be the perspective of this picture, and it could be that harsh turn, which would put it on the bedroom, or it's the half and the curve, which would put it behind the sink. So, damn, I wish I had a backed up picture because that's kind of shit. Let's see if there's another one. Nope. Okay. I don't know what the hell that is, but what have I done? I feel like there's another picture where you could see, but you see this is the sliding glass door. So yeah, there's this 1 foot segment in this. So either this is the 1 foot segment and this is the wall behind the sink and the dishwasher, or from this perspective, this is the 1 foot. It cuts off the wall that the dishwasher and sink are on, and it's the wall that you see through the window. So it's either this wall or this wall. Because here's the sliding glass door and here's the 1 foot before the cutover. So from the perspective it's at, it's either this wall or this wall. I know I'm not doing it justice right here. It's either right behind this shit right here or it's on this wall right here. Either way, the best way to, either way, it is either right behind the sink and the dishwasher on the wall that the sink and dishwasher are on, or it's either right behind the sink and the dishwasher on the wall that you can see through the window in the kitchen. I was trying my best to explain that. Let's check this. Hold on. See if I can get this other picture. Sierra, can you send me that picture again, like with more pixels? Is that possible? I'm trying. I'm trying. It could very well be the bedroom wall, but if you, the best way to explain it with it, like if you're, it's either behind the dishwasher and the sink on the wall that they're on, or behind the dishwasher and sink on the wall that you can see through the window, which would be the bedroom. Sierra's trying her hardest to send me a better pic, Lex. Well, so Sierra sent me this pic, and it shows the house from the exterior, and I was trying to see. Might have had a bad angle, and it would be this. Yeah, this. It would be this right here. Okay. On this wall. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm trying to switch through all these tabs, and I can't control the ads that are on the screen. Stand by. Oh, shit, fire. Stand by. Got to transfer the format over. I think your floor plan is beautimous, Peyton. I think it's absolutely beautimous. Okay, let's see. I am driving the motherfucking struggle bus tonight. Here we go. Boom. So, yeah, we're working on it. We're trying to figure it out. Where's my zoom in? So we're looking at bedroom. So this is going to be the kitchen, obviously. So it's the angle. So it's 1 foot. And then instead of it being 1 foot in this wall, the angle of the picture in the Daily Mail is 1 foot. And from that angle, it cuts off this whole wall and just starts on this one. So you see sliding glass doors, the 1 foot over. And then from that perspective, photographers probably, I'm pointing at the screen like y'all can fucking see me. Lord have mercy. I'm pointing at the screen like y'all could really see what I'm drawing on here. But yeah, from perspective wise, it just cuts out this wall. So yeah, you're right. It is this one, this bedroom right here. But you can also see the pipe that goes to the sink. So this is the sink in the kitchen. Pipe. The pipe is right there. So I'm thinking that's a leaky pipe. I don't know shit about fuck. Listen, it could be blood. I don't know. But I'm not sold on that. But you're right, Peyton. It is not this wall. It is this bedroom wall from the window. But let's just take a minute to appreciate this floor plan that Peyton did for us, because that is 10 out of 10 teamwork. Let's just take a minute. Let me pull it back up. Because, like, you just did the damn thing here. Like, can we take a minute to appreciate that Peyton did the Lord's work for us tonight? Let's see. Listen, I'll say this. If that is blood, then this house is made like shit, built like shit. That's I was trying to show something else. If, like, just full stop. If that's blood, this house is made like shit. So, see if this helps. Lord have mercy, this ain't gonna help us. This is my opinion. Take care to leave it. Either way is fine with me. Oh, shit. Okay. So somebody commented that it goes over the pipe, but bear with me, okay? This looks like a joint. Nothing underneath that. This looks like drips over a pipe. That looks like drips over a pipe. Like, that just looks kind of like how a pipe looks. Like, this whole section of this pipe looks like that. There, you could possibly, if you squint your eyes, argue that it goes over right in this area. But you cannot say it goes over right there, and you cannot say it goes over right there. But there's discoloration right here. I don't know. The debate will continue on that one, okay? The debate will continue on that one. Listen, there's no right or wrong answer because we don't know. That's just all there is to it. Well, that would have been a great fucking question for them to, I don't know, have asked during the press conference today instead of the questions that got asked that were not very good, in my personal opinion. Okay. Listen, it could be blood dripping from the wall, but again, it very well could be. But it would have to go through baseboards that should be sealed to the floor, then through drywall, and it's an exterior wall, so then through insulation, and then out through the house. So either the house is made hella fucking shitty, or that's a pipe leak or something. Nobody knows. So it's 50-50 chance. You can be on team blood drops. You can be on team, I don't know shit about fuck, but I don't think it's blood. And neither one of us are wrong because, we don't we don't know. But the debate will continue on that one. Now, we have to stop and snaps for our homegirl Peyton here, who did the Lord's work and did these mock floor plans for this house. 10 out of 10. Love you for this, Peyton. Fantastic. They are not going to be releasing the 911 transcripts. I repeat, at this current point in time, with no specified time stated, will they be releasing the 911 calls or a transcript for them. That's not happening at this current state and time or in the foreseeable future. And that's for several reasons. I stated this earlier, but in case you weren't on here, the caller was traumatized. It's a traumatizing experience. They may not release them because they don't want to, at this current point in time, amplify that. It could be because the caller stated information in that call that they don't want released because they think it's pivotal to their investigation. Or the caller is not a roommate and it's one of the friends that showed up to the house, and they don't want to add another name to this media internet bullying shit show, which is commendable and respectable by all accounts. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up on the comments. Yeah, this floor plan is incredible. But, we just saw from the picture that there's a visible pipe that goes from the kitchen over. And y'all, I got some questions like, how close was the Daily Mail to get the angle that they got on this shitty picture? Like, just one more time. Just one more time, because now it's going to annoy me. Like, how close were they to get this picture? Because this looks like they're on that walkway almost, or in that parking lot. This looks like they're in the parking lot that we were talking about, is what this looks like to me. But yeah, my blind ass definitely thought door 1 foot, and that this was either the wall from the kitchen or that it's a bad perspective and the wall out the window. And Peyton's 100% right. It's that wall out the window. But now I'm thinking about this perspective this picture was taken from, and it's taken from presumably the parking lot we've been discussing or the walkway we've been discussing, which, should I be surprised? No. Anything for the shot, right? Yeah, definitely had a super lens. Oh, they have incredible lenses. Absolutely. I still had to have that vantage point though. So you can tell from the pictures. This is a great point that Anna just made. Especially when we're talking about the drops. The house would have to be made pretty fucking shitty, like baseboards not sealed, no fucking insulation, just the shits, to have it leak all the way out like that. And when I looked through the photos online, I was like, this house looks pretty nice. But Anna here coming for the win. House was fully renovated in 2018, 2019. And you can tell in the pictures. It looks nice in there, especially for some college kids. Yeah, like lenses can do some incredible things, but they still had to have that angle. In order to have that angle, they had to be in that parking lot where they could see, through the line of trees. Oh, look at all that, some of these tabs situated. Anna is our sleuth and queen. Yes, second that. Just second that. If you're ever wanting to know something online, like if the team comes together and we're like, we need to figure this out online, it's like, can we summon Anna, and how quickly can we summon her to help us get this? I believe that. I wholeheartedly disagree with one of these comments, so I will not be reposting it. Ooh, and she's showing up with receipts. I'm here to see it. Go off, sis. Go off, sis. Yeah, listen, I can't fault them for this, to be completely honest with you. Typically what's standard is that you tip off. I need to make some fucking coffee if I'm going to continue hanging out with y'all, because I'm on the struggle bus. Listen, typically it's standard for a crime scene. You tape off the perimeter of the property. That's standard. So you're going to tape off the property line. And they did that. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to tape off more than the property line unless you have reason to believe that you need to do that, like a blood trail or finding a piece of evidence or something like that. So they did the correct and standard thing to do by blocking off the entire perimeter of the property. And if they didn't have reason to believe that they needed to tape off the parking lot, they wouldn't have done that. And that's just kind of a shitty part to it. So unfortunately the parking lot was, clearly not taped off, because the photographer clearly had that vantage point. So obviously they have fantastic and incredible cameras and could zoom in, but they still had to have the vantage point, which is suggested that they didn't have the parking lot blocked off, and they probably didn't have a reason to think that they needed to. If there was some type of blood trail or evidence or footprints or something that made them think that they needed to tape it off, they would have done that. But they taped off the whole parameter of the property, which is what they should have done. And they expanded it beyond the property line when they felt that they had reason to do that. So I'm not going to say that they improperly taped off the crime scene, because they did not. They taped off the entire parameter of the property. That was correct. And they expanded it once they had reason to believe that they needed to expand it. So, it's unfortunate that you can't, shut off the whole block. That's just part of it, unfortunately. Aaron, I wholeheartedly agree. And I love you. You know that. Thank you. Yes, coming in. Catherine the Victor, my girl. Y'all, the police are innocent until proven incompetent, just like private citizens are innocent until proven guilty. Let's do it again just to make sure you heard it. Police are innocent until proven incompetent, just like private citizens are innocent until proven guilty. Chef's kiss, round of applause. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Listen, if you're new here, then you know. If you're not, then you'll learn. No problem calling out stuff when it can be backed up, verified, show up with receipts. But we're going to give people the benefit of the doubt, police and citizens, until we have reason to believe or proof of otherwise. And society would be a much better place if more people did that, because God knows if, unfortunately, it was their situation, they would want people to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just invite you to the screen. What's the problem? What's up? What was I wrong about? What was I wrong about? What do you want to express? You clearly have lots to say in the comment section. So you have the floor. Now's your time. What is it that you're wanting to say? What am I so wrong about? What's so fucking fantastic about Reddit? I've been patient, but you know. Floor is yours. Let's hear it. What I get wrong? What's so great about Reddit? You got all the facts. You believe the killer is on fucking Reddit, kicking it on YouTube and Twitter, just stalking the fuck out of this on the millions of posts coming up. Again, it's free to be a decent human being. And I have asked everyone and expect everyone participating in this conversation to be nice, to promote a healthy environment to discuss stuff. And listen, when I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I was wrong. The drops were coming from this area right here. I had the wrong vantage point, but I was wrong. It came from this right here. When you're wrong, you're wrong. There's no shame in being wrong. But now you've shut the fuck up, which is, you know, what I expected. So now we can get back to our regular broadcasting. All right. So, I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I try to be abundantly patient and open-minded, but like, come on. I've ignored the comments, but like, be nice. We can all have different opinions. We can all discuss things openly and respectfully, but if you can't, then you can't hang out here. And for people that think that I just care because they said I was wrong, like, obviously I don't care. I'll admit that. It is what it is. Who cares? But it's all the other comments that I saw that were rude and combative the entire time with literally everything that I said or anyone else said that, you know, we're not having that. So anyways, back to the positive crew, the Act Right crew. Peyton did another pick. Let me pull that up for us. Believe she did the second floor as well. Oh, I see Jumper done jumped off the live. It's a shame. This is another Peyton creation. So again, thank you, thank you. Teamwork to make the dream work. Ooh, girl, don't volunteer as tribute because we will take you up on that. We will absolutely take you up on that. Let's do this. Okay, hold on. Wanted to point something really interesting out that someone else mentioned as I was reading back: the constant shushing and avoiding discussing of the killer going. So, I didn't hear this, but someone else said that they did hear this during the press conference today. Now, I admittedly, because I can admit when I'm wrong and when I miss shit, something happened earlier during the live, and I got sidetracked, distracted, having to address something, and so I missed a couple minutes, and I was only half listening to a couple minutes because of what happened. So I didn't hear this, but someone else did comment that they heard this. Now, without replaying it, I don't know if they were avoiding it or here we go. Lex for the win. Moscow Police Chief James Fry declined to say whether authorities believe the attacker visited the first floor of the 3-story rental house where 2 surviving roommates were during the attack. 2 of the 4 slain students were on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd. Police have confirmed that. Police would also not answer other questions for obvious reasons. They want to maintain the integrity of the case. They would not answer why the perpetrator or how the perpetrator may have gained access to the home, and why police are confident to continue to label it as a targeted attack without elaborating. So shout out to Lex on that one with the side text coming in clutch. So again, Police Chief James Fry declined to say whether authorities believed the attacker visited the first floor of the 3-story rental house where 2 surviving roommates were during the attack. So, yeah. Now, did he decline because he doesn't want any more speculation? Did he decline because, the killer tracked or left something that proved that they went down there only to find out that the bedroom doors were locked, or maybe we don't know. I don't know shit about that. But Lex for the win on that one. So confirmed that they, for whatever reason, did not want to answer that. I feel this so hard. Yeah, they're not talking about stuff because they don't want to jeopardize the integrity of the case, as they shouldn't, like they're doing the right thing. Whoop, coming in clutch again. Okay, let's go to this next one. Okay, so just to confirm, from the vantage point initially from the pic from Daily Mail, I thought it was on this wall. It's on this wall. Still, the pipe is leading to the sink, but it's on this wall right here, which is believed to be a bedroom, which from Peyton's beautimous mock drawings, which God bless you for that, because I love a visual representation. This wall right here, the one you see through the window. This is the sliding glass door that you're seeing featured in all the pictures. And we've got a chain link fence. Okay, so I don't know shit about fuck, but you can enter through the door, like where they park in that gravel lot. There's an actual door right there, and then there's a sliding glass door on that patio in the back on the second floor, and then there's a sliding glass door on the patio up top on the third floor, and there are stairs that lead to that. Right, we're playing poker. Actually, we're playing chess, but poker sounds a way more appropriate for the circumstances. So we're playing a game of chess and poker, whichever one you prefer. And yeah, you have to be strategic. I agree with this. It's the story of my life right here. I agree with this. I think that part of the reason why they're not like saying certain things and releasing certain things is not only to not jeopardize the integrity of the case, but also to have some fucking mercy and humanity against the roommates who are just getting fucking railroaded by dumbasses online. I mean, the shit that I have seen commented, I don't want to say it and I don't want to post it because I don't want to contribute to giving life to some of that stupid fucking shit that I saw. But when I say that some of the stuff that I saw online was so disgusting, and that has been said online, like it's I have no words for some of the stuff that I've seen posted online. Hold on, I got a side message I'm trying to check, and y'all know my ADHD. I can only do so many things at once. Let's see here. Yes, the roommates are they're absolutely secondary victims. Like, I can't believe the audacity of, I mean, I can, but like some of the stuff that I read was so disgusting. Like the fact that you would say that about somebody with not an ounce of anything to substantiate that, and that you further victimize victims because you just want to be an asshole online. I can't with that. Peyton, you did the floor plan. We might need you to walk us through this. This, I'm assuming, is the third floor, based on the fact that that matches the balcony railing on the third floor. This, for sure, is the third floor. That's the third floor balcony. That's the sliding glass door. Look, clear as day in this picture, you can see a car parked in the parking lot. This parking lot, it's got my full attention. I do agree with this. This shit sends me. Yes, this shit absolutely sends me. But y'all see this right up in here? I mean, look, this is kind of creepy because you could literally park your car in that parking lot and just be a fucking creep. And honestly, I mean, the foliage and the trees is there to semi cover that up, but like that's a straight shot. Like if you're parked right there, that's a straight shot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Mm-hmm. So what we know, police said when they arrived on the scene, they found a door open. They didn't specify what door that was. They just said that there was a door open. We don't know if that was the main door on the first floor, if that was a sliding glass door. They didn't specify that. Somebody at the house could have called 911 and ran outside, or in a panic ran in the house and didn't close the door, and that's what they found unlocked. We don't know. They didn't specify what door they found opened, but one was found open. But Anna's right about that. It looks like there's, yeah, yeah. There's like a chain link fence that you can see from one of these windows. I just saw it a minute ago. Let's backtrack. If you look out this window, you can see there's a chain link fence. It's not theirs, it's the neighbors, but you know, and it's not like it wouldn't take 2 seconds to hop over that. And you know what? Again, first off, when you're young, there's a false sense of security just inherently because you're young, right? Like, I think we can all agree on that. We were all young once. Some of y'all still are young. Um, I'm jealous, but you know, there's a false sense of security just in general when you're that age. And then that's somewhat, you know, verified by the fact that it appears from what I was looking at earlier that they haven't had a homicide in this town for like 7 years. So it's something that validates that sense of false security. Um, and so if it's a party house and you know you feel safe and you give the code out, or it's those digital keys to, like, you can literally send a text message with a digital key on it and let 100 people invited to a party in just by touching their phone to the keypad. Well, we don't know, but it makes sense. That seems normal. We don't know who had what room in the house. So I don't know what room belonged to which victim because that's not been verified. I mean, by anybody that I'm going to say is trustworthy, that I believe, because Reddit ain't it. No offense. Um, if I don't hear that from family or police, then I'm not going to say I have no idea what room that they had. And also, that's not to say that the dog was in that room. Listen, to my true crime besties that survive college and look back and think, thank God I'm still alive, but honestly, how the fuck? I feel you. I'm with you. You're not alone, and we've made it. Congratulations. Let's creep, shall we? This is fraternity and sorority row. This is the house before we lose it. Let me just put it in the center. This is the house before we lose it. There's a golf course, which means water. Boop, boop. Well, this says it's the university's botanical gardens. So that's not even part of the golf course. This is the university's garden. So the house is right here. Typically, your radius is going to be within here. So we'll go out just a little bit extra just to be extra, right? So when it comes to water, it's looking bare. Looking real bare. But we do have this, which I'm not even sure is water. Let's just... Yeah, I think that's water. That's like a little pond on the golf course. And then these... Well, let's just take... Oh, damn. They don't want to give us a tour? Can we drop down here? Oh, shit. Here we go. Well, what a little oasis this is. Now, I'm from the South, so this looks like straight up Snake Gatorville to me, and you could not pay me to get in that, but this is up north, so not the same struggles. But here's one body of water. Now let's backtrack. The house is right here. So where is that platform? Oh, I thought it was going to tell me the footage. Don't sell me short. Down here. Oh, shit. Come on. 804 meters. That's what it looks like to me. So then there's that. Oh, quit, for the love of God. My struggle is real here. Let's see right there. Come on, zooming on in. You can see that it's kind of hilly too, based on, you know, the topography is very clear. Whoa, that's even more topography than I was like. Keep going. More hilly than I was expecting. Oh, did I miss something? Where's the water? So the water's, they're not going to have a spot for us to zoom in for the water. But it's over here somewhere. It's super pretty. Truly. Sorry, I can't see the comments right now because I'm, neck deep in being a Boy Scout with this map. Let me get back over here. Okay. You lost the house already. Right hither. Right there. Enter for the win again. It's about half a mile. That's quite, that's a long ways to walk. And clearly you're not riding up on that in a car because it's botanical gardens. So, you could go. I guess you could. I don't know that I feel like taking a car out there is going to get your ass in trouble. You could bike it, but not, that'd have to be after you showered, unless you're just hella brazen. And it's probably a place people, jog, run. You got lots of pathways right there. So I don't think you're getting out there in a car. Maybe you are. Don't let me lie to y'all. Let's just zoom on in here. I mean, okay, so they have a stick so that you can't drive over right there. So you'd have to go over the grass to. But it's not far. And then you got the fraternity houses right here. The thing is like when we backed out a minute ago, let's do it again. Look at this. There's not too many places to go. If we're being honest, like this looks like you went back to a house. Because where the fuck else would you go? I mean, this is a dense area of houses right here. The fucking police department's right here. This is all apartments and housing, and this is all university. And then BFE, the airport. Like, there's not many places to hide. I don't see any wooded areas besides, a tree line and this piece of campus. The body of water is also Botanical Gardens campus and housing. Like this is not like a good area to. And we're zoomed the fuck out. And I still don't think this is looking like a good area to hide. So, the killer, unless they went home pretending to be scared, is most likely in here. Of course, there's always the possibility that it's completely random. Somebody followed him from the bars. We don't know. Generally speaking, yeah, the proximity is, So the police said killer or killers, but the thing that has people think a lot of things, but in my personal opinion, they act as if they are only looking for one murder weapon, which is suggestive of one perpetrator. Now, someone brought this up yesterday, or maybe it was today, but someone said, could it have been multiple perpetrators with the same weapon? That's a possibility. We can't rule that out because we don't know enough. So sure, that's a possibility. But what I heard was we're looking for one type of weapon, and that is suggestive of one perpetrator. But again, critical thinking skills, that doesn't mean that it couldn't have been multiple people. It also doesn't mean that it couldn't have been multiple people and only one person was the killer, or multiple people and they had the same weapon. Those are all possibilities because we don't know enough. But based off what they said, it's implying that they're looking for one killer and one murder weapon. Okay, so we know that Kaylee, placed a call to Jack at 2:52, 2:56-ish. Don't quote me on the exact minute. 2:50 something in the morning, she called him. That was her last phone call, and he did not answer. So we know she's awake closer to 3. And Madison also placed some calls within that time frame. So Madison and Kaylee are both alive around the 3 a.m. mark. They have not said that they've not said that they're confident or believe it to be one person. They said killer or killers. I'm saying that they said that they were looking for a murder weapon, singular, an edged blade, and that is suggestive of one killer. They are saying killer or killers, as they should, because, they don't know. Also, college kids, like, this is apartments. I'm betting this is mostly college kids. But this is probably all college kids based on the proximity to the college. But this is all apartments, probably college kids. This is fraternity and sorority houses. This is Sigma Chi. Ethan, Sigma Chi. House. Anna, that's 40 meters. So you can do the math for us. No, I lied. It's 817 meters from Sigma Chi to the house. 817 meters. So, I'm going to say it's safe to say that, college kids, they're awake. Hell, I'm old and I'm awake at that hour. So college kids definitely are. You have to keep in mind also that they had been out all night. They'd been out, I say out all night. I mean that as like a phrase, not figuratively, not literally. They'd been out, they'd been drinking. They were presumably asleep when they were attacked. So they're basically sitting ducks. That is horrible to say, and that's just the truth. If you've been drinking, you're in the bed, asleep or going to sleep, like you're a sitting duck. And not all of them had defensive wounds, which is suggestive that, yeah, they were asleep and probably never even saw it coming. This is a possibility, but I think that changing clothes would not make it not noticeable. That one question today, I was like, did you really ask that? And I'm sure, listen, those of y'all that were with me earlier today, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. There was a question asked in the press conference, and I was like, I implore you, like, begging you, dear Lord, 10-ounce baby Jesus, Buddha, Egyptian gods, and Tom Cruise, like, please, I'm begging. Use some common sense and some rational thinking when you ask these questions. But the autopsy, yeah, they have a lot more than they're saying. With knife wounds, you can tell the width and depth of the wound. You can tell if it was a cutting motion, and you can tell from what direction and angle the cut was made. You can tell how deep the weapon penetrated the victim. Like, the autopsy gives so much detailed information about the wounds and insight into how they were obtained and how they were perpetrated. So the autopsy, yeah, it's going to have a lot of info. Yeah. It looks very collegey, right? And with the proximity of the college, they said that a lot of kids were walking past this house on their way to class, which was obviously amplifying their stress and worry, which is valid by all means. And I think that the guy from the school did a fantastic job. The school president did a fantastic job, in my opinion. If the questions were bad, who bless. Gotta throw Harry Styles in there. Next time I got you in, I'll throw Harry Styles in there. What else y'all got for me? Y'all tired yet? Have I lulled y'all to sleep with my late night? Are you feeling sleepy yet? Let's see here. I have to be up in 5 hours. Yes, members can rewatch this. Oh. Yeah, I know. I kind of get the brains going. But it's good for us. If you don't use your brain, then the muscle gets weaker. The name of the game. It's important to use our critical thinking skills. But I do apologize because I know I probably kept you up even longer with that now. So we'll hang out for a little bit longer and then I will let y'all get some sleep because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And some people need to get some rest because they're going to have, emotional and mental family situations to handle tomorrow. So I'll let y'all get some rest for that because I know some of y'all are going to have it harder than others. Bro, the turn takes full out. Just take just eat, just serve it to people on the couch. Make pallets on the floor. Let them eat the turkey and succumb to its nap time powers. I say this all the time. I like your style. The roommates are 100% victims. They're secondary victims. I am disgusted by what I can only categorize as deplorable and despicable comments and behaviors by people online with the stuff that they say about them. That to me says nothing about them and says everything about the person that makes the comments, like trash ass humans. The surviving victims are absolutely nothing more than victims, and people need to respect that. People need to stop further victimizing them and address them as they are, which is secondary victims. They have nothing to do with it. Yeah, that you had to have a getaway, and you had to get home without someone being like, yo, what's up? Why are you looking like you just went hunting? It is hunting season, so Lord fucking knows. I don't know. Could there be a chance they say someone is cleared that may actually be inserting themselves, not the roommates, just others? Absolutely. So listen, they could absolutely clear someone and then later on decide that that person is no longer in the clear and become a person of interest. That's 100% a possibility, always, in any case. You can clear someone. Well, if you definitively clear someone, no. But if you just cleared someone, then yeah, there's a chance that that there's always a chance you can come back and say, JK, we figured something else out. You're no longer in the clear. I absolutely do not believe that anyone at that house when 911 was called or any of the boyfriends have anything to do with this. And I think this is going to be slightly more random than initially thought by some people, in my personal opinion. But I don't know shit about fuck. The online bullying by moronic idiots and internet trolls is disgusting. And I agree. That is just like shame on those people. Shame on them. 10 out of 10. Anna, please send pics. Please text me pics after you do this. Clear doesn't mean nothing, but it doesn't mean that you can't later become of interest. I mean, I wouldn't say that it means nothing, because to clear someone, it means that, you know, your phone records aren't putting you there, not pinging you there. You're not seen on camera with them. You don't have phone calls. Like, I wouldn't say it means nothing, but it does not mean that it can't change. I can tell you right now, if I was a neighbor, you know where I would be? In my room with the door fucking locked, or my ass would be back home with my parents. The last thing I would do if I was a neighbor would be to show my face on the news. Why? Because people online are vicious, malicious. Well, there are some people online that are amazing, incredible humans that prove every day that mankind is not beyond hope. And then there are other people on the internet that show every single day how disgusting human behavior can be and how poorly people that people react online and display online. And so I would not want to insert myself into that fuckery. If I was a neighbor, I would be get the hell up out of there. Also, if you offered me virtual school instead of having to go to class, no questions asked. None. Bye. I think that they just saw something. They thought the roommate was unconscious or wasn't responding. They were unsure of the circumstances and didn't want to get police involved unless they were sure that they needed to be. So they called friends to come help assist in assessing the situation and then realized that they needed to get police involved. I do not think it's nefarious in any way, shape, or form. I merely think that they just were scared, weren't sure, had to process it, and called friends to come over to help assist and assess everything, and then called police. And I don't think it's nefarious, but I actually don't think it's weird. I don't think it's weird at all for people to call someone to come to the house first before calling 911, because half your brain is like, oh my God, XYZ, and the other half is like, this isn't happening. And you just kind of, you don't want to get the police involved and have a record of something unless you know it's needed, because it's a public record. But police have said, this is verified. Police have said that the 911 call was placed by one of the survivors' cell phones. So that's one phone, one call. Who called, who summoned the friends over? I don't know. But the 911 call was one phone. They did confirm that they talked to multiple people on the phone during the 911 call. Police released that. But they said it originated off of one of the survivors' cell phones, singular, and they talked to multiple people. I can tell you right now, if they thought they had a suspect, if somebody stuck out to them as suspicious, they wouldn't be up there saying that they've cleared them. They would just be minding their P's and Q's and figuring out, do we have enough probable cause to make an arrest? Do we have enough probable cause to get a warrant to make an arrest? If they thought that they had a suspect, then they wouldn't waste time talking to us about, XYZ. They'd be trying to figure out how to make that arrest. And so I don't think they would say someone was cleared if they thought that they were a potential suspect. I think they would avoid having to make statements and just figuring out what they need for an arrest. See, I just don't understand. Shame on the neighbors. That's pitiful. Listen, they're reporting that they said unconscious. Of course, we don't know for sure if they said that or not, but here's what I will tell you. I'm not caught up on that because I think that they could have just panicked, and that's literally the only verbiage that came to mind. Like, they're unconscious, because that's literally the only thing that they could utter. And that for right now, it doesn't bother me. I know that word bothers a lot of people. Like, why'd they say unconscious? Like, they're not fucking morons. They didn't walk into a bloodbath and say, let me call some friends over first. I just, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt until we have something to suggest otherwise. And very well could be dispatcher speech, but they are quoting it as if we have a caller that said that they found someone unconscious. So they're pitching it like that's what was said, not that dispatch radioed in that there was a caller that needed unknown medical attention and they were unresponsive. Because they could have used the word unresponsive, which is actually what I hear on dispatch. I listen to dispatch all day, every day. There's a fun fact for you. But I don't know. But they are reporting, the police are reporting that that's what the caller said. They obviously had no idea. Yeah, they obviously had no idea. This right here. We need this in the world. We're about to go to sleep so that you guys can get mentally and emotionally prepared, because some of y'all need that. to go into your day tomorrow. Listen, Crime King is running a fucking marathon in the morning, or a race in the morning. Like, Lord have mercy. I tell you what, I have an internal meltdown. Like, I'll tell you a little late nights. I do not like going to the doctor because every single time I have convinced myself that they're going to tell me that, like, I have some incurable disease or something. I have no reason to think that. It's a complete irrational and illogical bullshit thought that goes through my head. I'm going to go to the doctor and they're going to tell me that, like, I'm dying. No reason to think that. Just some panicked fucking shit that goes on in my head. So yeah, I feel this all the way to the depths of my soul. 100%. All right, so I'm going to let you guys go to sleep. Y'all know I'm not going to. But I appreciate y'all wanting me to. And I love you all. I am absolutely beyond thankful for each and every one of you and all of the love and support that you continue to provide, and for all of y'all that make the world a better place, that make my life more fun and more interesting, and show that there are still good people out in the world. But you guys are my true crime besties. And on this Thanksgiving, I am thankful for each and every one of you. So go get some sleep. Go have a good day tomorrow, whether that's alone with leftovers or a cold box of cereal and movies, or with friends or family, or however you choose to celebrate or not celebrate it. I just hope you have a kick-ass day tomorrow, not at work, or if you're at work, then I hope you're getting paid more for being there. And I love you guys. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night and a very happy Thanksgiving. And we might check in tomorrow. Maybe not. We'll see how the turkey hits tomorrow. We'll see how the turkey hits tomorrow. But happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you guys. And I will see you guys later on. If you're brand new here, happy to have you too. And thanks for joining. And I will see you guys later on. I love you. Good night, besties.